This YouTube niche is so overpowered, it feels like a literal cheat code. Now, everybody copy this. So whoever implements this first is sitting on a literal gold mine. You will leave this video knowing exactly how to automate, structure, and passively make 10 to 20K with ultra long form content. Now, as I've kind of been talking about recently, what is ultra long form content? It's essentially similar to whether it's short form, long form, but it's 100% AI, and people are sort of using the videos to fall asleep to. Henceforth, the RPM, as opposed to being $4 or $5 like is the kind of norm on YouTube, it's upwards of even $40 per 1,000 views. Now, I'm sure you can kind of see where I'm going with this and why I've really been advocating for ultra long form recently, but I found some really unique niches. As you guys know, it's kind of a weekly thing. I like to do this. I like to show you guys a bunch of niches that I've found, and I found some pretty good ones in today's video. So let's get directly straight into it. Once again, guys, no gatekeeping. I am completely transparent in this fact. Just so you know you can trust me, let me go ahead and share something with you right now. Alright guys, now just so you know I'm not completely full of shit and you can kind of listen to what I'm saying, this is one of our Snapchat shows that we run that we recently started about 2 months ago. You can see right now it's doing about 66 grand a month. Now, no, this is not all profit. Snapchat does take a pretty hefty percentage, but it's still, very, very good considering it's completely passive. Now, no, this is not relevant whatsoever, but I just want you to know that you can trust what I'm saying, and I am being completely transparent with you. Now, converting a regular long form channel into ultra long form. Now, one thing I always say is don't just copy the niches that I show on this content, because chances are if you just copy it one for one, so is 750 other people. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, try and find a long form niche that you can essentially convert into an ultra long form niche. Now, back in the day, there were content where people would kind of fall asleep to the stories, right? And what somebody sort of did was they made that kind of short story, but converted it into an ultra long form story. So we're talking, 4-hour content where people can essentially fall asleep. Now, this channel, Get Sleepy, they post 4-hour content every single day. And as you can see, they are making so much money, it's kind of disgusting. They're doing 2.5 million views a month on long form specifically. Now, the RPM on this, and this is not just a guesstimate, this is 100% accurate. They have right now about a $25 RPM just because it's Q1. So obviously advertisers are paying less than in December, September, October. Now, right now, with their current RPM, they're doing about $62,000 every single month profit. And when you kind of see these videos, you'll see how astronomically easy they are to actually make as a whole. Like, you could do this entire video in essentially 5-10 minutes of video once you kind of get good at it. Now, let me go ahead and show you one of their videos. Essentially, what they'll post is like bedtime story in the 1950s, Grandma Haddle's kitchen, the coziest story for sleep. And it's literally just an AI voice, an AI script, and they just put it together with an AI image and put some background, kind of like butterflies flying, and they just change the image every few hours. It is ridiculously easy, and the reason why the RPM is so high is, of course, because people are watching it till the end, since they are falling asleep. Henceforth, they're kind of, watching more ads than the usual video would sort of feed to the average viewer. Now, that's a channel that I'm going to show you exactly how to automate right now, but an honorable mention that I found recently, which I think has a lot of potential, is this channel right here, Round Table Rewind. Now, FYI guys, get your notepads down. I have never shown this channel before. I've kind of been thinking about getting into it, but I've advocated for sort of showing it to you guys instead. As I said, I'm super transparent with this. Now, guys, what they do is they post like 3 hours of Cartoon Network lore to sleep and study to, 2 hours of regular show lore, and they're only posting once every 6 months. This isn't a crazy niche. I've never seen a single other person doing this. And in that time, they've got 1.3 mil views. They've only posted 10 times. Their RPM would be about $25 to $30. You guys can see here, 7-hour video. Honestly, they could have an upwards of a $40 RPM. So realistically, just on this one channel, let's be conservative, they've made $30,000 and they just started. Now, this is the perfect example of a niche to get into right now, but the one problem I want to say, and I know a lot of you guys are lazy, you love AI channels. This is 100% an AI script and an AI voice, but as opposed to what we usually push for, the videos and the kind of the content on the screen does line up to what's being said. Now, yes, you can do this if you're willing to pay an editor $50, $100 a video to really get all the, the content and place it on the screen at the correct time. So it's still an amazing niche to get into, and all the principles I'm going to show you in today's video on how to actually do it follows the exact same format, but you will need to essentially put in that extra mile if you want to capitalize on such an untapped niche. Now, 3 to 4 hour long content in this niche would have an RPM of $25 to $40. Now, Visuals don't matter to an extent. If we are doing that channel that I added as an honorable mention, then yes, visuals do matter. But what I think is you could sort of experiment with just using random visuals from the shows. And of course, people are still falling asleep to it. I mean, you can see, for example, on their regular show video, 2 hours of regular show lore to study and sleep to. If they're sleeping, a bit of my head canon likes to kind of tell me that it doesn't actually matter what you're visually showing. So I definitely think it's still worth giving a go and just seeing how it performs. I mean, if you want to try and do this and go the extra mile, definitely go ahead and sort of invest in a team to handle the video part of it. But if you want to go ahead and just use completely just random regular show content, maybe even a lo-fi background that you make with AI, that's completely fine as well. And yes, this is 100% monetizable. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is don't limit yourself to don't limit yourself to niches that I only show in this video. Find your own, find a long form niche and convert it to ultra long form. All you have to do is ensure that it's automatable and not visual intensive. What I mean by that is finding a normal long form niche that might work and just simply making sure that the visuals don't matter, people can sleep to this content and just transitioning that entirely with AI from normal long form to ultra long form. This is probably the easiest way, and this is what my team has done to scale numerous channels to 10K a month. It is astronomically untapped. Nobody is doing this. And if you do it this way, you essentially have zero competition. You already know that the content you're stealing is already performing well in their style of content, so regular long form. So when we are just changing this to ultra long form, all it's going to do is dramatically increase, the RPM, and the audience still exists. Now, one more thing, guys, if you want to get started with a monetized channel right off the rip, go ahead and use my website, premonetize.com. It'll be linked down below as well, and use the code VIDEO if you want to get a 10% off. Now, this is only going to be for the first 2 people, but FYI, if you want to get monetized, get a $40 RPM right off the start. Obviously, you can go into any potential niche you want to get into. These are completely fresh. Go ahead and get yourselves one below. Once again, no pressure. If you'd rather start fresh, that's completely fine. This is just those that want to kind of make money right off the rip and don't want to wait for monetization. And the views you are getting prior to being monetized in a niche like this, let's say it takes you 100K views to get monetized. If you have a $40 RPM, that means you're missing out on $4,000 prior. So I'd only really advocate for a pre-monetized if you are doing ultra long form, just because it makes, the workflow and kind of getting started that much easier. Now, let me get into the nitty and gritty. How do we automate this? I've shown this many times, but I want to show a little bit more kind of nitpicks and things that I've never shown before. Now, for today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I would sort of automate a channel like this, the Roundtable Rewind one. I'm going to give regular show lore. Let's just say, for example, we wanted to copy this channel, but with, not very intensive visuals. Let me show you exactly how I would do that, step by step. Now, guys, I am going to speed run this right now. Let me go ahead and show you. Now, let's say we wanted to copy this regular show video. We're going to go ahead and once again, just download the transcript. So I'm going to go to YouTube transcript downloader and I'm going to head over here. I'm going to insert the link that I want to copy. And what it's going to do is essentially give us the transcript. Now, I don't usually go into depth on this, but the reason why we sort of do this is because when we get that transcript, we can essentially get AI to copy the exact same formatting that they use to make their script. Now we're going to head back to AI and simply write up a semi-decent prompt. Give me 1 minute. Now I've gone ahead and written up a script that you guys can copy. Obviously, kind of expand upon what I wrote. Don't just copy it one for one because chances are, you're going to want to make some changes. Now I've said, I'm making an ultra long form YouTube niche about cartoon lore. I want to write about regular show lore for 2 hours for people to fall asleep to. Make sure it flows well, has good pacing, and a relaxing enough script to actually fall asleep to. Then what I went ahead and done was I gave it the example script. I said, here's an example script. Now, once again, whatever niche you might be doing this for, do this exact same strategy if you want to replicate any sort of script. Now, I'm going to say space it into parts. This is a big issue that a lot of people have, is they'll expect ChatGPT to just give you a 4-hour script right off the rip. Chances are it's not going to. You're going to have to work with it. And the way that I personally do that is by telling it to space itself into 10 parts. So I'll say start with part 1. And once it's finished that one, I'll say, okay, do part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, put it all into a document. And then once you've sort of finished that, then you'll convert that into your voiceover. And I'm going to go ahead and simply press enter and watch what this literally cooks up. It's going to go ahead and write me an entire lore video about the show itself. So starting right now, it is going to start off with soft, relaxing voice. I know something that you don't. What's that? Always guard your pepperonis. Regular Show, one of the most absurd, surreal, and unexpectedly heartfelt anime series to ever grace Cartoon Network. It's an amazing script, it's perfect, and obviously, when you're choosing your voice, you're going to want to use something that's pretty relaxing and actually going to convert to people falling asleep. You want to make sure that when you are doing this, especially for voice acting, you don't use a voice that's insanely energetic, not like the way that I'm talking right now. If you have a voice that's like, this is the most animated series, don't do that, because chances are people aren't going to fall asleep. They're not going to find it relaxing enough to actually chill out to. And of course, once again, you want repeat viewers because the views that you do get are just so valuable in terms of RPM. Now, doing the voice acting, this is extremely easy. I'm sure you guys know. If you do have a high budget and you are willing to invest in this, go with 11 Labs. It is insanely high quality, but to do 4-hour videos, you are going to need to put in like $300 a month. Now, if you don't want to go with 11 Labs, you can use an alternative called Fish Audio. No, not sponsored. They actually did offer to sponsor me, and I said no because I actually like the program. Now, it's about $5 a month, and it gives you unlimited generations. The only downside is the quality of the voice isn't as good as 11 Labs, so you kind of have to work with that. You kind of give it up. But if you are going with a niche like this, once you're doing 5, 10K a month, then it's definitely worth kind of alternating and going back to 11 Labs. Now, a little thing, guys, if you want to work directly with me, one-on-one mentorship, check out blakeryan.co. I essentially scale you to 10K a month, and we actually kind of go into depth on how to get 11 Labs for completely free. That's a little kind of subset. So go ahead and apply to that. And of course, if you want to work with me, it's very closed off, but let's continue with the video. No more plugs. Now, editing. As I said, if you're going with a regular show channel and you want to copy Roundtable 1-for-1, yes, you are going to sort of need somebody to paste the visuals together to make it so it flows well. But if you don't want to go that route, I'm going to show you exactly how you can sort of do this niche just with lore and just a still image. So if you do want to go with the original route where you kind of hire an editor, use a server called discord.gg/creativeparadise. You can essentially hire talent, or you can use Upwork. They're both pretty good options and they're both really, really cheap. Now, if you want to do it yourself, all you would really do is look up regular show, aesthetic image, something along those lines where you just have them, whether they're just chilling on right here, you would kind of have a HD image like this, place it on the screen, add a tiny bit of music in the background, and just the relaxing lore. I still think it would perform exceptionally well. I mean, we compare this to channels like Chill Cartoon Vibes, who post lo-fi videos of like, take a break, traveler, you deserve it. And essentially, they're just one image the entire video, but they're still posting 5-hour content and the people are still falling asleep to it. So we still have that proof of concept. We want to make sure that any niche we're ever doing, if we are experimenting, if we're doing different things, make sure we do kind of funnel back to a proof of concept in the beginning. We know that there is a sort of format on YouTube that works for this style of content. I mean, you have Chill Cartoon Vibes. They have just a still image. We have The Storyteller. They have literally just a black screen and they post 4-hour long videos and they're making like 50 grand a month. So we can definitely do it this way. We don't need to go the visual route, but obviously if you do want to go with the other one we spoke about, the Get Sleepy, it's literally, once again, just a still image, the entire video. Now, for thumbnail designs, I have hit the holy grail and I know exactly how to do these. Give me 1 minute. All right, guys, now for today's video to do thumbnails, I found something pretty insane. Now, no, once again, not sponsored. I never take sponsorships, but I found vidIQ AI thumbnails. Now, of course, if we're doing a channel like this, you don't really need to make, custom thumbnails. They're essentially just a still image, which kind of works well for what they're already doing. So we don't need to worry about that. For a channel like Get Sleepy, if you want to kind of replicate their thumbnail style, it is astronomically easy, right? Let's say we want to check one of their outliers. An outlier being a video that performed exceptionally well on their channel. We're going to go ahead and simply grab one of their video links. So let's say we wanted to go with this 4 hours of sleepy fairy tale stories. This video made them like $40,000. Absolutely freaking insane. But we're going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to head back to vidIQ, paste it in as a reference, and say, copy this exact thumbnail style for the idea 4 hours of sleepy fairy tales to fall asleep to. Right, we're going to go ahead and press create and just watch how insane this tool is. And FYI guys, while this is generating, you can do this with any sort of niche, whether it's space. I mean, you can see right here, I made this, whether it's Lilith's tragedy, and any type of niche, whatever you might be doing, vidIQ has you covered. And no, once again, not sponsored. I just personally use this tool and bang, just like that. I mean, it's gone ahead and made us literally a thumbnail in the exact same style. Now, FYI, The style that these guys use is pretty shit. Their thumbnails suck, so I don't even know why we're copying them. Of course, you want to find a reference that has better thumbnails. You can kind of give it, train your AI model and kind of work with it. But if you wanted changes, and for what I gave it, this is actually not bad at all. You can obviously refine it. You can make changes, say change the text. There are so many things you can do with vidIQ, and it's absolutely insane. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is the fact that you can get such insane evergreen views in this niche itself, as well as video ideation. I mean, if you want to find, let's just say for reference, you're doing the cartoon channel, all you would do is look up popular cartoons, literally do that, and you'll just find so much content to base this entire sort of channel off and kind of build off. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is evergreen views. In a niche like this, as I've said, the views you get are so valuable because the RPM is high, right? If you have a returning viewership of 10,000 views a video, that's still $400 a video with a $40 RPM, which once again is very realistic later down the year. Nowadays, it'd probably be about a $30 RPM, so you're still sitting on $300 a video. If you're posting daily, that's $9,000 a month, and of course, that's not even taking into account the virality. I mean, look at this channel here. They had one of their videos get 542K, so 542 times 25, they made $13,550 off this one video. Now guys, if you want to join my public Discord server and get free information every single day, it's discord.gg/1%. And of course, if you want to work with me one-on-one, blakegrind.co, I work with you directly with my team, and we of course try and scale you to 10, 20K a month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Best of luck as usual. And yes, I'll see you all later. Peace out.